What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Beyond the Backboard Podcast, another special episode of 2 Minute Drill. My name is Omar. Next to me are my beautiful co-hosts, Max, Jay, and Earl. Today, we're going to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder have finally, after all these years, have made the NBA Finals. Guys, what a historic moment. And to start off this historic debate, we're going to pass it on to Jay here. Jay, your 2 minutes start.
Now, the timer.
So, shout out to OKC, the Western Conference champions, first time since 2012 when they played LeBron and those boys. But yeah, man, just a historic season by them. 68 wins, on pace for 80 plus wins, counting these playoff games. Just an all-time season by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number one defense, top 10 offense. Had 2 of the 20 best players in the league this season. Even if you consider J-Dub that good. He was a top 20 player this season, both sides of the ball. But just an all-around great season by OKC, man. Led by head coach Mark Daigneault, who should have been coach of the year, man. 68 wins, should have been rewarded for that. But what a season by this team as a whole. Shout out to Sam Presti for cooking this up, for really speed running a rebuild. They were not supposed to be good this fast. Like Shea said 2-3 years ago, we're looking for the future, and the future was 2 years later. This was back in 2022, 2023 season, and they're good right now. They're here. They're going to the finals. They have the MVP. SGA had one of the greatest offensive seasons of all time, won the MVP, won the conference finals MVP, could very possibly win the finals MVP, would obviously be the first player to win all 3 of those in the same season. So, yeah, man, shout out to OKC. Very proud of this young team. Youngest team to go to the finals since that OKC team in 2012 as well. So, yeah, man, I have very high hopes for them in this next series. Whether they play the Knicks or the Pacers, I have them to win in about 4 or 5 games. They can figure out both of these teams pretty easily. They went through the gauntlet in the West. Jokic was, in my opinion, the Nuggets, the only team that could beat them. They beat them in 7. So they already passed their hardest test. And they just got to close it out with the big one in the next round, man. But, yeah, like I keep reiterating, man, what a season by them. And they're going to be dominating this league for the next 3 to 5 years as well. So look out for OKC, man.
Perfect. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
All right, Max, your 2 minutes start now.
So the Thunder are will vie for their second ever championship this June. Some would say first, because do we really count that Seattle Supersonics championship? The record books say that we do, but I don't know about that. But either way, this is a franchise that is a very small market, is not necessarily a team a lot of people think of when they think of the NBA. You know, they're going to think about the New York Knicks, the Chicago Bulls, the Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of people don't think about the Thunder. So I think that makes the fact that they are now here in the NBA Finals with one of the best assembled teams, and certainly the best organically assembled team that we've seen in the last 10 to 15 years, makes it even more impressive. Mark Daigneault deserves a ton of credit for being a first-time head coach, taking over this team and getting them to play to their potential. You know, we had a lot of young guys, and I think for the last couple years, everyone has agreed that if this OKC team with the nucleus of SGA, Chet, once J-Dub came into his own, if this team ever played up to their full potential, they could absolutely win an NBA championship. And now they're 4 wins away from doing that. So obviously credit goes to the players, Mark Daigneault, for developing this team, getting them this far. I think he's a fantastic young coach that honestly people don't give enough credit to. Acquisitions like Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso absolutely have pulled this team together. Even bench guys like Isaiah Joe knows his role. Casey Wallace knows his role. Kenrich Williams knows his role. Jalen Williams knows his role. This is a very well-built team. That defense is absolutely insane. But I think the biggest thing that plays into their success is their ability to just generate runs. There is almost no team in the NBA, I would say no team in the NBA, that can have as good a 5 minutes as the OKC Thunder. When they just have these stretches, even in close games, you look up, it was a 1-point game, you close your eyes, you open them again, it's a 10-point game. Then you close your eyes, open them again, then it's a 20-point game. Then it's 25. And it's like you play them close for 3 quarters, and then they just pull away at some random point in the third quarter, and the game is just out of reach. So shout out to the Thunder. They're going to be tough to beat in these finals, I think.
Perfect. And Earl, you're next, brother. 3, 2, go for it.
Yeah, man, I can't lie. I'm proud of this team. I've made a bunch of videos about OKC over the history of this playoff start to where we are now. And My biggest thing when I came on the show, I challenged them. I said they weren't ready. I'll stand on that. I thought they were too young of a team. I didn't know if they were mature enough to win, really, let alone get past the first round. But now make it all the way to the NBA Finals. And every time they've been met with a challenge, they've passed it. Game 7. I didn't know if they were mature enough to win a Game 7 versus Jokic and Jamal Murray, who historically are really great Game 7 performers. Like, we've seen it in recent NBA history. So them passing that test, just being mature and closing out this last series as well. I don't know. Like Max said, their defense is just suffocating. And I think this is one team, whether it's the Pacers, who we talk about, play with a lot of pace. I think OKC pretty much can do the same thing. Plus, they have the best defense left in the playoffs. And plus, they honestly probably have close to the best offense up there as well. So seeing them absolutely dominate in the playoffs, it's made me a little bit more humble, man. Shout out to them. And I'll say it, bro. OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder Oklahoma City Thunder have the best future in the NBA for the next 10 plus years, in my opinion. Like, even like people talk about contracts. Okay, what happens when we have to play Chet? What happens when we have to pay J-Dub? They'll just draft somebody else. They own 3 firsts next year, I'm pretty sure. I think 2 firsts a year after that. And you can reverse it however. But next year they have 6? Really?
They're probably all protected.
I heard that like really recently, but 10 seconds.
Oh, I thought it was 3. But yeah, I feel like OKC, they have a bright future and they're here now. They're built to win now, and they're built to win for the next 10 years.
Perfect. I'm gonna double check that fact before we get off fully. But to start with my 2 minutes, I literally cannot disagree with anything anybody said. Max spit the most facts in my opinion. They really do that. And what Earl just said about their defense, they are the best defensive team in the playoffs, whether it was before or it is now, whether it was all the teams or only 3 of the teams, it was them. So we have to give Oklahoma City their props for going ahead and adjusting what they were losing last season. We talked about in the beginning of the season how Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso was going to be so integral to that squad because of what they actually provide and what they bring to it. Now Isaiah Hartenstein is able to get those second chance rebounds because he was able to do that on the Knicks really well, and I was able to see that firsthand. And honestly, same thing with Alex Caruso. While I see him sometimes as okay, yeah, my bad, Earl, but it's just a lot of throwing up. But again, we said this in the beginning of the season. Oklahoma City really went out in the offseason, adjusted what they exactly need, learned what they learned from that series where they lost, and then they went and adjusted properly. Shout out for Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm nothing but happy for him. We should have gave him that bag long ago. And I'm going to concede the rest of my time. I don't think I can add anything else to what you guys kind of perfectly described there. Yeah. 2 minute collective thoughts. Go.
They're better than the Knicks by far.
I'm not saying that. I didn't say anything about the Knicks.
No, I'm just messing with you. But really, I'm not messing with you. They are, but it has nothing to do.
Listen, we know this. We're not sitting here saying the Knicks are going to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals. We're not sitting here saying that.
Remember when Omar was like, "Oh, we're gonna win this." Remember when Omar was predicting like rounds ahead? Was hilarious.
Hey, man, I was right.
True. I mean, partially. You still got a game to go. Yeah, you're muted, Jay.
Yeah, you're muted.
That was embarrassing. Well, we can all agree. If they play the Knicks next round instead of the Pacers, it would be a less competitive series, right? Mm-hmm. Can we all agree?
I'm not agreeing.
I'm not going to agree with that. And I'm going to say if the Knicks are able to stop Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the way they stopped Tyrese Halliburton in game 5, and this is predicated on the fact that this continues to game 7 and they win game 7 and Tyrese is still a non-factor because of the defense pressuring him up top. But I feel like if they could do that.
I'm just looking for the guy who's going to stop Shai on the Knicks.
Mikhail.
I think the series is going to be as either way, regardless of who the Thunder plays, the series is going to be as competitive as they let it be. Because when you're
That's
the
true.
favorites, ultimately, it's kind of on you. If the Thunder if both teams play as well as they could, the Thunder at their best are better than both the Knicks at their best and the Pacers at their best. I think we can all agree with that, certainly. But if the Thunder are not playing their best, I don't think the Pacers or the Knicks are that far off to where the series would be lopsided.
Bro, you know everything is mirrored, right? So if you're drawing something out,
hey, Jay knew what I was saying. Thunder in 4. If it's Knicks, Thunder in 4. If it's Pacers,
5.
Thunder in 5.
All right, guys, that is a perfect timer. I'm gonna leave it off there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this episode of 2 Minute Drill, guys. We are live 3 days a week. We are live on Tuesdays on our regular podcast, 4:30. Meet us in the Playoff LAL room. 2 Minute Drill typically runs Thursdays. Today was Friday, but hopefully a set schedule will come out soon. And again, 4:30. And the weekend preview constantly on Fridays. Meet us there in the Playoff LAL room at 4:30. And if it wasn't clear enough, we're staying in the Beyond the Backboard podcast room. Earl, stop mimicking me. And we will be chilling. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Peace. I hate you so much, Earl. I really do.